So this video, we're going to look into and dive deeper into self-image and the importance of self-image as a visual artist. And the very first thing I want you to think about is you yourself, your body, your personality, your likes, your dislikes. You are your most powerful sales tool. Um, and our energy precedes us when we enter into a room, when we make a phone call, when we do an email, when we go to networking events. And so if there's anything a little off or funky about how we feel about ourselves, then that will be felt by others. And and I'll talk about this from the point of view in a story in just a minute. But our self-image, the way we walk, the way we talk, the way we meet and greet other people, the way we inhabit our own skin, how much we believe in ourselves, how much self-confidence we have, and how much confidence we have in our skills, talents, and abilities creatively, but also with ourselves. All of these things affect our bottom line, our sales, if we're just going to make it really blunt, affect how much money we make. And the reason why I put this into a goal, um, a goal training system, an art sales program, is because this is non-negotiable. This part is absolutely essential. We will not learn this in business school. We will not learn this in art school. I didn't learn this in the 3 years of arts business training I got when I did 3 years with the Clark Hewlings Business Fellowship, Accelerator, the Arts Accelerator program, where I was one of their mentees for 2 years, and then they had me come back and was one of the mentors in their program for a year to the up and coming artists behind me. And it was all about business, how to run a business, how to make an effective business, become effective business person as an artist. And it was invaluable. But even nowhere in there did anybody ever talk about you, your self-confidence, your belief in yourself, your sense of self-worth, um, is effective, and it is your calling card. It is your business card before you hand anybody your business card. It is what's felt when somebody goes onto Instagram and your image first pops up. It's that je ne sais quoi. It's that there's something about this person that I'm just drawn to, that I'm magnetized to. And it is something we can train ourselves to grow and develop into. Um, I don't believe in the thoughts and the belief that I was born this way. This is my genetic makeup. My parents and my family acted this way. Therefore, this is how I'm going to be, or this is how I've been behaving for the last 10 years. Therefore, this is what I'm going to be like for the rest of my life. Or this really horrible experience happened to me 5 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I still feel yucky about it. It means something wrong about me. Therefore, that's my future. Or things are really junky right now, socially, politically, economically. Therefore, this is going to be my life. No, you create your own circumstance. You are a child of God, period. Period. And the more you can tap into a source center of yourself that is connected to the ultimate source of all things, then you're in that vibration. This is not a thinking process. This is a feeling. This is feeling as in not an emotion, but a sensation within your body. This is the sensation of who you are. Self-image. The phrase in one of my favorite books, Awareness by Neville Goddard. there's a chapter and a phrase that says, when you delight in what you are interested in, I'm paraphrasing, when you delight and you experience the joy of what lights you up, what turns you on, what you're most interested about inhabiting this body that you have, that's the divine, that's source's way, that's God's way, goddess's way of reveling in the experience of you. You is one of the multitude of facets of human experience. Nobody else is like you. Nobody, ever before and ever after. It just makes me want to tear up. And there are unique qualities about you that cannot be replicated by another human, but you have to know what they are. You have to feel them within yourself. You have to dive so deep into these things. You want to, we train ourselves to, and we are absolutely trained in the American society, especially as women, conform. Everybody have the same shaped boobs. Everybody have the same shaped lips. You can't age past a certain point. Gray hairs, blah, 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 or fit in. Or with our families, if you start acting in a way that's different from what we're used to, we're not comfortable with, it's going to poke my buttons. It's going to make me afraid. I don't know who I am. If you change so much, I don't know who I am in relationship to you. So therefore, I say I want you to change and grow, but I don't, because your growth makes me so uncomfortable that I keep pulling you back into this place of don't grow, don't change. So all around us are these things. So there's a multitude of life habits that we can take on to advance our self-image so that it becomes our embodied walking, talking state of living in the world. So let me give you a couple of life examples from myself and then of my other clients. So just recently, within at this stage of my art business, I don't know where I'm going to be here from now. I know it's going to be significantly different and my income will have doubled or tripled again. So this last Christmas, I made a decision in one of my goals. It's time for me. I really desire to create some kind of product that suits a certain part of my multiple streams of income niche. As a wood sculptor, mixed media sculptor, that's what I do. I have multiple streams of income within my art business. I make small, quick, easy, cheap things for tourists and locals. Then I have mid-range items where maybe I'm repairing a piece of high-end furniture. I don't care if I repair furniture or create a sculpture, money is money. I'm still working in my niche. I'm still in woodworking. I'm still making something beautiful out of wood. And quite often when I do those repair jobs, I get artwork jobs. So it's all good. It all fits in that niche. So my middle range pieces, they sell anywhere from $500 to a couple $1,000 of those sculptures. They sell, but not as frequently. And then my big high end pieces, which are $10, $20, $30,000. And those, sell too. So at the end of last year, I had a desire to expand my low-end niche. My desire was I would like to create a product that's very easy, cheap, inexpensive for me to make, that is unique. It's trendy. In other words, when things trend, whether I don't like trendy things personally. I don't buy trendy things. I don't invest in very trendy things, but trendiness equals cash in hand. So how can I make this trendy so that I can make more of my high-end pieces and live this creative life I desire? And I want to partner with somebody who believes in me, who believes in my work, and has a really strong sales ethic and will sell a lot. So that's a lot of different things. And so I sat and meditated the processes I teach you guys. I go into my visualizations, I go into my future self, and I'm asking myself the questions, who's who's making these products, what do they look like, what do they feel like, how do they sell, what's the price point. I come out of the visualizations. Sometimes I see that image really quickly and clearly, and I write it down and I draw on it, and I take action on it right away. I go right into my studio and I make the thing, or I make a prototype of the thing. If I don't see it right away, I trust I will in the next few days, because I've planted the seed, the question of what is this next product thing, God, you and I are supposed to make? My hands are your hands. I know you're working to and through me. And the purpose of my life is to remind others of who they are with art and creativity. And I know that so clearly because I've worked on this for years and years and nailed this into my psyche. So when all of those things lined up, I made these little products. I had things set and ready in stone to go. And I went around boots on the ground, 3D world, and I went around shop to shop in the local town where I live. Like this person, this person. And at first, I was asking other people for, hey, can you give me a referral? Hey, will you talk to this person for me? Hey, will you be my greeting card? And then after a little while, I decided, knock it off, Nadia. You are your own salesperson. You are your own walking, talking, eating, breathing billboard. So I did everything within my power that day to get myself into a good state. I went to my yoga class. I ate well. I went for a run. I did endless, countless times of stopping during the day, writing down my goal statement, how much money I want to make, how I want people to experience me when I walk into a space. And I just hammered it in. I visualized it. It takes a lot of time. For me, it takes a lot of time and energy to stop and do this. I have to. Otherwise, I'll tell you the other story in a moment of what happens if I don't. First store I walk into, they're receptive, but I just have this sense that this is not right. Second store I walk into, I talk with a woman, I show her the images. She goes, I love this. I love this. I say, I'm going to have the product to her in 3 days. I did. She was surprised. She's like, oh, wow, you're on time. And I show up with the product, the price point, everything is price, label, tag, invoices, blah, blah, blah. It's all locked and loaded, good to go. A week later, she said, I'm sold out. Okay. Here we go. Put it in again. October, November, December, January, I'm making $1,000 a month from this product. Yes, it takes time, money, and energy to make it, but I'm making about like a 200% return on my time and energy. And just recently, I gave her, I think, about $1,500 of that exact product into the store. So I'm making money for her. Stuff is selling quickly for her. She sees the value for her business. It's a win-win, win-win. It's a win for me, for my self-confidence, my image. It's a win for my art business. It's a win for her self-confidence and her self-image. It's a win for her bottom line, and it's a win for our clients. Win, 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 right? For everybody. And then she's so happy with it. She's posting it on Instagram, tagging my name. And now that's a ripple effect that's getting out into the world. 3 years ago, I would not have been able to do this. 5 years ago, I would not have been able to do this. And let me just tell you, I'm about to do this process with $3,000 to $5,000 products, and then $30,000 to $50,000 to $120,000 pieces. I'm about to run through that process again, and I go through this visualization, drawing, writing, whole thing process. Oof, I go through this every week, and I'm going to go through it every week until I get that $120,000 job, till I get that $300,000 job. If other people can do it, why can't I? So, self-image. So here's my story and where I come from and why I know this is so powerful and so potent and important. Number one, many, many years ago, I made certain choices and decisions from a life path. Things weren't going so well after a divorce. I wasn't feeling good and strong about myself. I didn't know how to lead myself. I didn't know what was left in my life. To put it very bluntly, I was suicidal. I wanted to die, and I didn't know what to do next. And I was calling out and crying out for somebody show me the way. So what happened is I met a spiritual teacher. On one hand, this is great because I got a wish come true, which is I'm getting to study and meditate in an ashram style environment where people are renunciants, and we really are just focusing on soul and spirit. But on the other hand, I wasn't aware of what I was asking for in the shadows on the other side, which is, will somebody please tell me what to do? I do not know how to lead myself. I don't know how to lead my life. And I'm just going to be this follower. So, yes, on one hand, I got all these really incredible experience, ashram-like experience. My teacher was a guru or revealer of light. And so we did have several light, leave your body source experiences. I know what source is. I know how to connect to that and how to come out of my body and how to come back in. But what he didn't teach was that this beautiful, squishy little meat suit that I got at birth in this lifetime, this thing is pure magic. And you can't spend all your time out of it because eventually the body will rebel and either die or it will go crazy. And that's what started happening to me. I started going literally nuts. And disassociation, panic attacks, and lots of other things. And I lost such an acute sense of myself by being such a follower and was literally brainwashed. And so why do I tell you this story? Because at one point, I realized my life is never going to change if I keep following people blindly, if I keep outsourcing my identity onto somebody or something else. This can happen in a religious system. This can happen in a cult. This can happen in a family unit, mothers, fathers, children. This can happen politically. This can happen everywhere. This is not just, a one-off experience that we're seeing in our day and time right now, 2025. It's very obvious to see where people are outsourcing their intelligence, their strength, their personal power to circumstances, saying it's somebody else's problem to fix, right? And then we have these leaders that are not leaders, they're narcissistic tyrants. In some ways, they're forcing their hand. They're not leading. So at that moment in my life where I realized I needed to learn how to lead myself, because if I'm going to be an artist and if I'm going to share these images and visions and have this impact and have a scope of impact, then I have to lead myself. And it was at that time where I kept running into individuals that would teach me how to develop my self-image. And I was so fortunate from this spiritual experience because I had to start from ground zero. Everything had been taken away from me at that point when I exited that spiritual group. My mother had died. My entire family unit had dissolved. I wasn't speaking with my father or my spirit. I had sister. I had no family identity, no family ties. I had literally burned all my photo albums from my youth and my past. I had changed my name legally from my birth name. And I had been so disassociated from my body, my mind, and my emotions that I had to quite literally relearn how to be me, how to have a persona and a personality. And it was at that point that I realized I want to become the healthiest, most effective human being I can become, the healthiest, most effective artist I can become, so that I can serve others that way too. And so I came from this below ground zero point, and I know that if I can build up to a really positive self-image that I'm doing and serving these people now, that anybody can. It doesn't matter what your outer circumstances have been. Who do you choose to be moving forward now? So our self-image, our energetic calling call that's on our Instagram and Facebook and social media and all those things, where all you need to do is be so locked into what you want, why you want it, and how it'll feel, where you're feeling and doing and having, where you know what your future life is, what you want it to be, and you're locked into that, then your strategy will simply be living. You won't have to rely on some fickle Instagram reel story thing. You won't have to go on TikTok and dance like a monkey and hope and pray something will go viral to make money. I don't know a single artist out there that actually makes a significant amount of cash from their art that has ever gone viral. They don't care. They are too busy on their creative life, making their art, selling their art, being this really incredible, influential, confident human. And then maybe there's a knock-on trickle-on effect of more people coming their way. So our self-image is something that we learn to do. We train in it, just like you learn to run a marathon. You don't run 26 miles the first day. You start out with a mile and then you do a bunch of stretching. Your self-image, it's the same. Over the next 2 weeks of planning, right? Because we're on the third part of planning right now. The self-image, the fourth part is creating order. And then we go into an 8 weeks of you start your goals and you go through your action steps and you complete your goals. And then you go through 4 weeks of integration, recalibration, what worked, what didn't work. Where did I completely detach from my goals and myself? Because a lot of times it's not about getting 100% of the goal. It's about who you become. And it's about catching all the ways you trip up and all your chicken exits and all the ways you chicken out. And it brings your paradigm up to the top and it shows you all the ways you've been trained to behave in a non-productive way. So that we change that. So we want to have a fairly clear self-image in this moment, moving into our goals. But I tell you that as you move through your goal cycle, and especially on the end of it, your self-image is going to be different. You're going to feel different about yourself. And then you're going to modify that, tweak that, change that. And so we'd use external structures to support us. We use the external structures of the vision boards to keep us locked and loaded and mindful. We use our vision boards to look at daily to remind us of, oh yeah, this is what I'm working towards for me. For me specifically, when I made my first vision board, it was so intense to have these images of what I wanted in front of me because I had lived a life of renunciating, letting go of everything, cash, money, home, any human comforts, a lot of human comforts. So when I got back to the place I want these things, I would quite literally have panic attacks, end up on the floor crying in a little ball because I wanted this thing so bad, but I didn't know how to get it. And I had to train my nervous system to be able to hold my gaze on this image, hold still, and feel it in my heart that this thing could it could come true. It took a lot of time and energy and a lot of money, a lot of trainings, a lot of different kinds of therapies and multiple different forms of therapies to get there. So that's why I encourage you to have a self-honoring goal so that your physical body calibrates to this point you're heading towards. Because this human being you're wanting to be next, he will behave differently. Therefore, they will feel differently, like a completely different human in your own skin. And who you are today and who you're becoming, you're very different. This one down here is actually afraid of change. If it wasn't, you would already be this person. So when you run into this terror barrier of your belief systems and bounce back into this person over here, here again and again, you're going to want something to keep you in a narrow alley in that laser focus like we talked about in the how-to video of the sunlight moving through the magnet to create a laser beam to start a fire. You want to be that laser focused. And so self-image is essential. We guide ourselves, we order ourselves with our self-image, and we want this in our body. So we want a clear self-image on all the levels. We want it physically. What does this human, my future self, what is their posture? What exercise do they do every day? What do they wear? How do they decorate themselves. I'm not talking about just randomly choose a magazine and choose what somebody else's self-image, or this is who I think is successful, so I'm supposed to dress like this, that, or the other. No, 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 no. It's what lights you up. It's what fills you up. If wearing a blazer and a pantsuit is the thing, is just like, oh, I love this so much, then that's you. If wearing leather pants and a ripped up t-shirt and thigh-high boots to your meeting is who you are, that's you. If gothing out in black clothes and black boots is your thing, country style, be you all the way, and tweak it and modify it to make it comfortable. Our mind, the way we think about ourselves, our self-image, how does this person think about themselves? When they look in the mirror, what do they think? What is their self-confidence? What is their self-worth? What is their self-beliefs? Emotionally, our self-image. A lot of self-development groups talk about be, do, and have. I'm sure you've heard about this. Be this person, act this way, do these things, very great, and have them. Yes, and there's a step. There's 4 parts. There's the 4th part that's missing from all of that. Being is also just a mind construct. Feel, sense, have the sensory experience of that human being now. Feel, be, then do, then have. Feel, sense in your heart. Feel the physical organ of your heart expand in gratitude. That tingling sense you get across your whole body when you're in synchronicity. Sense, sensation. We are sensory creatures. We live in these 6 senses. Sense and feel your emotions. Feel, emote, then be that person, then act that way, then do the business things that person does, and then have the results that that person has. We want to walk, talk, breathe, meet, and greet people through the self-image. And it takes time. It takes time to do this. And that's why I teach this program. And I like to hammer in that you cannot do this. So you cannot do this once and then expect your entire art career to change. That's not going to work. I don't know a single person in any kind of business that's been extremely successful, whether it's in the coaching industry, whether it's in the fitness and the aesthetic industry, or it's the business and industry, teaching, and whatever industry they're in, the high producers, they have a system of self-growth continual. And so at the beginning of this system of 4 months, plan for the goal, do the goals, clean up the goals, do it again, do it again. So the end of the year, you are so much closer to when you first started. And so we look at ourselves like athletes, right? If you want to run a marathon, if you want to be in the NFL, what do you have to do? You train and train and train and train and train and train and train. You surround yourself with other people that are going in the same direction you're going. You eat, drink, walk, talk, and you make yourself become this person you want to be. And for us as visual artists, we are the visionaries. We are the literal shamans, because we're taking information from above and beyond. We're channeling it, transmuting it through our physical form, through our eyes, through our ears, through our makeup, through our hair, through ourselves. And then we're sharing that out with the world. So give the world a gift and let people see you as what you're interested in, what you're doing, who you are, so that people get that gift too, right? And let it be really grounded. Don't disassociate. Don't be so woo-woo and out there. Don't be so spiritual that people can't comprehend what you're doing and saying. Don't do your best not to mimic other artists or other ways of speaking about life. Find your way, find your tone, find your voice, and speak up that way. And let's see what you get to at the end of this goal cycle, right? And know that you'll repeat this again. All right, this is the end of the video. See you on the next one.